I'm Tom Martin, and it's our pleasure, with my partner Ethan McCarty, to talk to you about and present the Innovation Award. Just a little bit of background, and then I'll turn it over to the real brains behind the operation.
Wait, I thought it was the looks. All right.
We're sort of Chico and the Man, or Sanford and Son, I guess. Anyway, what we did a few years ago, the Page Society for many years has honored people with two big awards. The Hall of Fame Award, which you saw Gary Sheffer yesterday, was the recipient this year, and the Distinguished Service Award. The Hall of Fame is kind of the lifetime achievement. Distinguished Service is sort of service to the profession. And there have been great people who've won both those awards. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to sort of look forward. And so a few years ago, we started presenting each year an Innovation Award that sort of recognized what people in PageUp are doing to advance the profession with an eye towards the future. And so that's really the background of the Innovation Award. And I've been lucky to partner with Ethan McCarty on that effort for the last few years. And Ethan's going to tell you more about this year's award recipients.
Thanks so much, Tom. And I would be remiss if I didn't note that we had a amazing group of people who worked with us as a committee to not only do the evaluation of submissions, but drum up the submissions to go out and do a little bit of like, can we get some good candidates in the pipeline here for this award? And in the past, it's when we first started, they were kind of trickling in, and this year we really had an abundance. So I want to thank Megan, Alyssa, and Gabrielle in particular for getting the word out. And we ended up having such an abundance of great submissions this year, not just more, but super high quality. And in fact, not only did we this year award a runner-up, but there was such diversity of innovation. So not just the application of technologies or new processes, but reaching new audiences and impact as well, that we ended up having a conversation about maybe in the next year awarding some specific dimensions of innovation. So maybe even breaking this up into some more categories. So a really nice group of submissions came in, and my thanks to our esteemed panel of judges here as well. So I want to start off by and just before we reveal our two runners-up, I want to mention that this year we also, as a group, came to the conclusion that we'd like to, in addition to awarding the honoree with their trophy, we want to be able to equip that individual and their team to give $500 to the communications educational program of their choice. So it might be their alma mater or a program where they're volunteering as well. So again, still leaning into that concept that Tom mentioned about really trying to live the values of PageUp in our future orientation. So let's even pay it further to the students who are coming up into our profession. Without further ado, I would like to tell you, Umema, thank you for your amazing submission. You have gotten a special honor for social impact for the submission that you did around the SailGP program. A round of applause for Umema and Mubadala. Well done. And we heard a little bit about this yesterday from Brian in a conversation. Really, really interesting. And I personally was able to attend one of the races in New York City with my son, and just watching him, my 12-year-old son, get excited about technology, the environment, and the sport was really exciting for me and for him as well. So I saw that in person, which was really nice. As the runner-up, everybody please put your hands together for Joao and Dan of Signal AI and Takeda. Your application of using AI in novel circumstances was really outstanding. And again, you heard from some of these folks on a panel yesterday, so you have a sense for it, but we're going to try to follow up with a little bit more case studies and so on derived from these submissions. So our awardee for this year's PageUp Innovation Award is none other than, do we have a drum roll or something? Okay, thank you, love it. Evan Krause of AppCo, bravo, for the development of Margie. Will you come up and say a few words, Evan? Do you mind joining us? There we go, some tunes.
And the award, important.
Thank you.
This, by the way, is a 3D generated award that we've been giving out for a few years. It's made with 3D technology, so there you go.
It's super cool, right?
Congratulations.
So, thank you, and thank you. Let's have a round of applause for the other runners-up and all the submissions. It's really incredible. So I'm very humbled to be here because I know what Signal AI does, and I know what Mubadala does very closely, and it's amazing stuff. So it's interesting to be here right after the last panel, because we talked a lot about digital natives and age in the workforce and all of that. What we're trying to do, we are in industry in very, very significant transformation, as you all know. And I think the reason why we got recognized is we are not a technology company, and we're an agency trying to figure out our place in the world. And we've talked a lot about, yes, we started a lab in 2016. We have some PhDs. They're basically going in and evaluating all the technology that's out there that's coming upon us so rapidly to try to figure out and how to make sense of all of it. And a lot of the conversations we've been having the last couple days, and that I've heard I've been having with you in the hallways and a lot of others, are about applications. How do we do this better or that faster, or produce this press release in a different way, or harmonize this kind of work that we do, or do this research a little bit quicker? It's a lot about the tools. And that's why we end up talking a lot about digital natives and about understanding how the technology works and the limitations and risks of that technology. What we've been spending our time doing is figure out what's our value as an organization and what's our value particularly as an agency. And when you think about an agency, whether you're at one or whether you hire one, the reason you are at an agency or you bring an agency in is because of the collective talent that's accumulated, and mostly specialized talent that you can afford to have in an agency and deploy across a lot of clients, whereas a company can't onboard all those experts and sustain them in an overhead situation. So yes, we do a lot of work, we do a lot of tasks, but the value is created with that expertise, which is why it's interesting to think about the conversation we just had about age and wisdom and experience. So we have created a solution set with AI that we call Margie, named after our founder, Marjorie Krause, who many of you know. And the reason we named it Margie is it's a signal to what we think about value. Marjorie represents, as the founder of our firm, the collective wisdom of our 40 years and our 1,200 people. Margie is the AI manifestation of that collective wisdom. And so what we do is we focus not on the technology, but how do we take the data sources, the trusted data sources we've always used, in an environment where we can protect clients' intellectual property and their security and all of that, so that we don't hallucinate or have bias or these other things with the data. We're not breaking any new ground there. It's the same tools you all use, the same data sets we've been using for years. But what we do with our people is we have our experts, that collection of bespoke expertise that's sprinkled across markets around the world, that know certain sectors, that know certain techniques, and we mind map them to the technology. And so the language models that underpin Margie are trained by our experts, so that our client leaders can have a live interface with our clients that takes advantage of that collective wisdom and uses the data and the and the wisdom that's out there in a specific way. So I'll just give you one example. Yesterday, I was on the phone with one of our fast food restaurant clients that has a new digital strategy that they're being advanced. And they're trying to deploy a digital strategy in countries all over the world in an environment where policy is uncertain, where adoption rates are different, where the technology platforms are a little bit different, and all those kinds of things. And there's all sorts of issues around data privacy and access and these sorts of things that you all know about and live every day. So what we've done is we've said, let's take regulatory and legislative data from around the world. Let's take conversations about digital. Let's take the influencer set that matters to you. And let's use those inputs as our data, which is not new. That's what we would have done in the old way anyway. but let's take our experts on all those different markets, on those issues, on your sector, and from the client team about your business, and take your actual digital strategy and put those things into the mix in terms of how we train the language model. And so our experts who are not, I hate the word, but digital natives, who have not grown up with technology or AI, what they're doing is they're actually telling Margie, no, you have that wrong. The context for this is actually a little different. No, the application to our business is different. This is how, and the AI learns and adopts those habits and behaviors. And so when you combine the wisdom of those different types of people who know the business, who know the sector, who know the issues, who know the markets, and you put that into the witch's stew, that the aggregation of that becomes really, really valuable. And then you take away the mechanical side of trying to collect all that operationally and turn it into long PowerPoint documents that you then have to edit and publish and work with your clients. And instead, you're creating a live conversation where you're looking at that assessment and you're collaborating with the client team on the client side to improve it and to continue to make it better. And so you go forward in that way. So it's just an example. And, I think the details are less important than the mindset. And so as the more experienced workers in the workforce sitting in Page Up or even at Page, we have a very, very important role to play in making sure that the way technology is being applied in our industry and the way we're thinking about it in our industry is about how we're harnessing the aggregated value of what we know and what we've learned and how to apply that going forward in what we do. And AI allows an interface to do that that's totally new and different, that takes away some of those barriers to technology that may be less comfortable with digital people, less mechanical, mathematical people have to experience. And they let us focus on applying that wisdom through a set of interactions, talking to data, correcting things, adding context to things in a real way that makes people very comfortable because that's how they normally work. And then that just gets harnessed and collected over time. And so for an agency leader like me, it's very, very exciting because instead of having a conversation about which parts of our business are going to be taken over by technology in a race to the bottom on price, as we talked about yesterday, we get to think about new ways of aggregating that capability, that knowledge, and applying it and tuning it and improving it over time. And so we get to think about adding exciting pieces to the mix like we always have in terms of bringing in talent that the companies can't hire internally because there's not enough demand for it consistently. And for a client, if you're on the company side, you should be excited about the opportunity to have those kinds of platforms available to you as part of the advisory team and that they generate a lot of value. So don't try to make them like efficiency gainers. Try to think about them as value creators and hold us accountable to that, but reward us for that too. And I think in that way, we'll advance our whole industry. And that's why I'm excited to be able to talk about what we're doing with you. And hopefully you can take some lessons from that into what you're doing every day. So thank you for the recognition. I love Page Up. I've been here from the beginning, and I think the fact that we're the voice of innovation in the Page community is exactly right. And so thank you for this recognition and for all that you do to make this such a nurturing and wonderful community. I'm privileged to be with you all.
Bravo. Thank you. Evan.
Thank you, Evan.
Before you leave the stage, I just want to let you know that we had some of the team do some research about the provenance of your innovation, and they've pulled some footage from the archive.
I'm very nervous.
Can we roll the tape? Congratulations, Evan.
So let's talk about deep fakes. This is an important part of our life today. So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think we're headed now.
Well, actually, before we go, just one more thing. I hope you've been inspired by that, Nevin. I think that was a wonderful presentation, and we will take that submission and turn that into some content that we can put on the Page Up website to share with others. So I think that really set a high bar for that. But we're going to have another one of these next year, and that's where all of you come in. So think about what you're doing in your own organizations that's innovative, and I can promise you there's lots of innovation sitting here in this room. I thought about it yesterday when we had what I thought was a great idea of having the corporations and agencies kind of dialogue. You think about it, there's probably at least $1 billion worth of wealth transfer that's happening between client and agency that's sitting here right in this room, right? $1 billion worth of value that's being shared. And so in there is a lot of innovation. So what we would like next year is for many of you in this room to submit those innovative ideas so that we can have, again, a great crop of nominees to choose from. And this year was really amazing. We got a great winner, but there are other winners out there. So just please take that as a challenge and let us see your great ideas next year. So thank you guys. And now you're on a break. So enjoy your break.
Thank you, Tom.
Every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. Ay, 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 I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Ay, 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 I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. Ay, 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 I'm on vacation every single day, every single day.